We had a pretty fun day yesterday, actually. Let's put the slide up here. We had our first, for those of you that are visiting today, we have two sites, one here in Manhattan and another in Staten Island. And, in the Staten Island site, we actually have a 180 youth. They multiply like roaches. They're numerous in number. God really does promise that blessing on Abraham, and we got it there with kids. And so we went to the basketball tournament yesterday, and of course we designed these jerseys, 180, and I just want to let you know it was historical. It was historical. We went there, and it was an incredible loss in the first game, and in this game, it's first game elimination. So, we went there, everyone was like, yeah, there's tons of us wearing 180 t-shirts, cheering, we were the loudest ones. That's 180 style. And we were there, cheering and screaming. And, the first game was really close, but, one game elimination. We lost by the buzzer. They chucked the ball with 4 seconds left. The enemy, the other team, got the ball, chucked the ball up. That was like, it was all luck. And he threw it up. 0.1 seconds left. Off the backboard. In. I was about to kill somebody. And then I said, okay guys, good game, let's go home. And it was like, we got there at 10:30 or something like that, and we were about to go home at like 11:30. Second game, I thought that, one game elimination was, too soon, so I went there and complained. They're like, okay, we'll let you play one more game. I regretted that decision now. Because the second game we played, we got blown out by 31 points by the second half. I was saying to a couple of staff, like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. They had some confidence losing at one point. Now they're down by 31. But then, they were... I just have to say, in the second half, it impressed all of us. The whole gym, they were not playing against Asians either. They were playing against all black kids. And let me tell you, 31 points down, they brought it down to 11 points in the end. And the whole gym was erupting, 180, 180. People didn't even know. This is great. And they fought back like warrior poets, and the assistant coach, John Judd, gave him a William Wallace speech. If you can trade this day for that. And then all the guys just came back with fire in their eyes. And they came back and gave it all they got. Yet they still lost. But, they gave it all they have. And, we're going to have another tournament. One of the things that we want to do at 180, before I go into more deeply into the message, is, the two sites, we want to be able to be there at those things, support our family, support our students. So next time we're working on that. Try to organize better so everyone can know and be there and cheer, so that maybe we could win a game. We're 0 for 2 right now, but that won't be the case for long. But anyways, when I was driving back in my pensive state of losing, because I hate losing. How many people like losing? I don't. It dawned on me that what sports, illuminates and highlights in life. Sports has this, elusive illusion. And we want this elusive illusion of one person or a team being the hero of their own journey. The captain of their ship. One person being the man, rising up and, hitting that last second basket or coming back from 21 points, someone like Michael Jordan. And we're so addicted to sports because we want to believe that perhaps if this athlete can do that, if he can, in adversity and, turbulence and crisis, rise above and have some control in his life, maybe I can too. Maybe I can control the life that's unmanageable sometimes in my own. And we have this, this elusive illusion. We know it's not true. That's not really possible because you can take the last second shot, but most likely you're not going to make it. You know, how many people remember the Michael Jordan commercial on Nike? You know, I've missed 8,000 million shots in my career. And then, you know, I missed, 352 times my team has given me the last second shot and I missed. I think Kobe is like 900 times he missed, but, I'm not comparing. But, and then he goes, that's why I succeed. We want people in sports, and we're so obsessed with sports, because this idea of being the hero of your own journey, having control of my life, is the secret desire of humanity, of human civilization. We want it to feel like that control, destiny is in our grip. But the truth is, if you look at a great example, illustration of this elusive illusion of control, this elusive illusion that someone can be the hero of their journey, I think there's no better illustration than this summer with LeBron James. And it's not even free agency. I remember looking at Facebook after LeBron chose to go to Miami, and, seriously, all I saw was, first Facebook status, I quote, pussy. I'm like, why are they calling him that? They're saying because, he can't do it on his own. That's why he's copping out. Coward. Cop out. I mean, can you imagine, just really for a second, to think like LeBron for a second? I know we all hate him right now. He's the most hated man in sports. But think about it. I mean, think about the pressure. Did you guys watch Free Agency? 10 million people watched it. He was there. I mean, he's a terrible actor. I mean, really. And he looked flustered the whole time. He looked really nervous on TV. And, it was really hard for him to leave Cleveland, but he had to. Because he had to admit it was too hard to be the hero of his own journey. It was an illusion. He would love to be MJ. But what people don't understand about MJ is that MJ never had that type of expectation that they had on LeBron. You guys understand that, right? MJ, they thought that he would be just a good player. LeBron, they called him, no pressure, chosen one. You give someone a name, chosen one, right? You're the chosen one, right? Second name, King James. No pressure. And then you're from, out of all places, Ohio. Ohio is like, at the brink of death in their economy. They have also a sports curse. You see, Ohio and the Cavs. Cleveland is famous for Michael Jordan beating them at the buzzer place. Impossible situations. So LeBron is born at Ohio, born in Akron, Ohio, where everything is, collapsing. So all the pressure, King James, the chosen one, the one that will save us, the one that will have some type of control to take us out of this rut, this crisis we're in our life. That's immense pressure. People don't understand that. And let me read to you, hate mail. This is the best hate mail in history by Dan Gilbert, the owner of the Cavs. And this is what he says. And he wrote an open letter about this. I read this and I was like, this is good. It says, Dear Cleveland, all of Northeast Ohio. Do you guys know what that is? I have no idea. In Cleveland Cavaliers supporters, wherever you might be tonight, as you know, our former hero, they call him Chosen One, King Hero, who grew up in the very region that he deserted this evening, is no longer a Cleveland Cavalier. Clearly, this is bitterly disappointing to all of us. You simply don't deserve this kind of cowardly betrayal. You have given so much and deserve so much more. Look what it says. This shocking act of disloyalty from our homegrown chosen one. Look at that name again. Can you imagine? Do you see why he ran now? Right? And then it says, sends the exact opposite lesson of what we want our children to learn and who we want them to grow up to become. But the good news is that this heartless and callous action can only serve as an antidote to so-called curse on Cleveland, Ohio. The self-declared former king, you see the name again, will be taking this curse with him to South Beach. All right. Now, after you hear this, you see, even in sports, the illustration that what happens when one person, the whole weight of the world is put on him to be the hero of his own journey, to represent symbolically, to have some control of his external environment. I mean, seriously, our culture, our generation, our civilization, it's all about winning, not losing, right? How many people want to win? You're like, I do. But you don't just want to win, because I mean, it's not like you want to win one game in the NBA season. You want to, win what? You want to win all of it. You don't just want to win, and you don't want to win, like when Kobe Bryant won, like 2008, against a totally subpar team. You want to win the best. You want to beat the best, and you want to win in a different context. You want to win when you should lose. You want to win when it matters, because you want to feel like LeBron wants to feel like all of us want to feel like, that we have we can be the hero of our journey. Look at LeBron. Look at Patrick Ewing. That's all I got to say. It kills people. It can't be done. It's not what we were meant for. The Bible says, and how the gospel applies to this elusive illusion, because everyone has it in this room. New York has it especially. I think a mosquito's biting my leg. All right, anyway. So, back to the point. This illusion that I could be hero of my journey. The Bible says in Ephesians 2, it makes it very clear that you were dead. Say dead. You were dead in your transgressions and sins. You were finished, not dying. There was no participle there. Dead, past tense. You were dead in your transgressions and sins. And it also says you were dead in your direction of life and purpose. And then it says, paraphrase, and this is New York paraphrase. Basically, Ephesians 2 says you were Satan's little bitch. He was your pimp. He had total domination over your life. He enticed you to a life of dark habits that you couldn't break free from. You were by very nature objects of wrath, of hell, destined to be damned. That's us, people. But of course, Ephesians 2 says, there's a but. But because of what? His great what? Love for us. Because he's rich in mercy, he sent his son. Amen? That's where the gospel comes in. The gospel comes in not because you could be the hero of your own journey, that you have control of your life, to manage it, to be the captain of your ship. The gospel comes in turbulence, in crisis, and admitting that you cannot control it. And because he loves us, and because he's powerful, it says in Ephesians 2 that he takes us from the grave, from the deadness, and he lifts us up and seats us with Christ. Amen. That's the gospel. Now, as we look at Exodus, the parallel between LeBron James and Moses is identical. They're identical stories. They both grew up in their hometowns. They were both groomed, bred to be the chosen one, right? They were both given the best education. I don't know if LeBron had any, but basketball education. And they both were bred to be king, right? Moses was the son of Pharaoh with special grace, even though when Joseph died and the Hebrew nation, the Israelites grew in Egypt and started outnumbering Egypt, the next Pharaoh forgot what Joseph has done and started enslaving the Egyptians, and that's how they become slaves, remember? And what happens is they sent a mandate to kill every Hebrew male that's born, a baby. Sort of like Sparta, but a different kind of light. And they kill all, the firstborn males. And Moses, one of them, but he escapes by the grace of God, and he's raised up to be the next deliverer of his people. But they both, what? They both jet. Moses, and the Bible says he flees, from Egypt, and LeBron, he took a jet out of there, right, to Miami, South Beach, a much warmer place, and, so there's a great parallel there. But today what I want to talk about is this simple thing, is where is Jesus, right, in this elusive illusion for us wanting to become the hero of our journey. Where is Jesus? And the gospel has something very powerful to say that. So let's go to the passage and look at this. And Charlie read it for us, right? Now, in the passage, first, what happens to Moses? Is this here? Okay, that's the wrong passage. All right. Now, in Exodus 2, after Moses grows up, he sees what happens? A Hebrew slave, and the Egyptians mistreating who? An Israelite, his own kind. He goes there, and Moses, he has so much confidence. And he goes there, and he goes, hey, buddy, do you know who I am? I am son of Pharaoh, dude. He probably didn't say it like that, but you know what I mean. He went out there, and he asserted his authority. He thought he could help his people. He ended up, killing somebody. Made a mess of everything. And the question I have for that part of the story is simple. Why couldn't Moses come out of the story really saving the Israelites? So he couldn't deliver, he absolutely couldn't redeem the situation of enslavement, abuse, inequality, mistreatment. Even though he had so much power, he tried to go in to be the hero of his own journey, the hero of his life and other people, and he ended up messing everything up and killing a man. Not bringing life, but taking away life. Right? I think one of the things that we clearly need to understand about this illusion of having control, being the hero of our journey, is very simple here. So where is Jesus there? Well, the first thing I think God wants to teach us, let's go to the passage, is this lesson. Put it up. Read that for me. He's what? He's waiting for us to what? That we just simply do it. There are things, and I know that, some people that live in New York, when I say, you can't, you go, yes, I can. I go, no, you can't. You go, watch me. I can do it. I mean, I got this point from, of course, the passage, but the slogan, the most famous slogan in Nike history. What is it? Nike says, Tiger Woods took that literally. He literally did it many, many times. But besides the point, do it means you can do anything that you put your mind to, that you work hard enough. You can do it. Let me just tell you right now, the gospel comes, the Bible says, in our weakness, in our stupidity, in our darkness, in our sinfulness. Everybody made a big deal about LeBron. Nike made LeBron his own slogan. You know what the slogan is? What was it? We are, what the hell did we witness? Him crumbling. Him failing. Him not being able to deliver. Even though, like Moses, he's a freak of nature. Even though he's so athletic, probably one of the most gifted athletes on planet Earth, he, with the pressure of his own hometown, we were witnesses of his failure to be the hero of his own journey. And then when he didn't want to eat any more of that, of failure, of letting everybody down in the city that was counting on him to be God, because that's what it means. We are witnesses. When you go to black churches, they go, can I get a what? Witness of what God has done. They were asking LeBron to be God. And a lot of times, when we want to be the hero in our of our own journey, we want to be what? We want to replace God. When we're meant to just represent him. We are all witnesses of LeBron's failure. I mean, take it from LeBron. You're not ever going to be, in whatever field you're going to go into, you're not going to be good as LeBron. He is a prodigy. But he still can't be the hero of the journey. I should give him a call, right? Lead him to Christ. He'll 10-180. But here it is. And this is the question I have for you. So God, Jesus is waiting for us to accept, to embrace our limitations. That we can't do it. There are things in your life. What are the things in your life today you can't do? You have to admit, I can't do it. I want to believe in Nike so bad. I can do it. You can't do it. That's where the power of the gospel comes in. That's when the bud of the gospel comes in Ephesians 2. I pray that the Spirit of God would show you right now the areas in your life you have to admit, I can't. God, I can't, but you can. Amen? That's where the power of the gospel comes in. If you struggle with the will that you can, then you don't need Jesus. You don't need the gospel. Because if you could try. Moving on to the story as Moses basically, jets out of Egypt. You see him go to Midian, the desert. And then, of course, he goes to the desert and you see him what? Meet 7 girls. God softens the blow, And one of those girls is going to be his wife. And when they meet, you know what happens? He goes there and, the sheep or their cattle is being all like, they're scattering. And Moses saves the cattle. He becomes the hero of the day. And all the 7 girls, they have no husbands yet. They're like, oh, wow. Moses, you're my hero. And you have to see in the big scheme of things how God is beginning to raise up and breaking and shaping Moses to become someone that can represent God, but not what? Replace God. That's the problem of most of our journeys. We want to replace God. We don't want to say, God help me, or this person help me. We want to say, I did it. I'm the man. I'm the woman. We want to be able to say, it's me, it's me, it's me. But that doesn't exist. Okay? You know why? You can't be number 1? Because you can't be better than God. Like, I can't, no. It's impossible. Ontologically, it's impossible for you to be number 1. We were never built to be number 1. Ever. Let me tell you, the most successful people in the world. How many people, Obama's, popular ratings are going down and down and down. I mean, seriously, remember when Obama became president? He was like all dignified. He had black hair, and you saw him and it was so amazing. Everybody cried that he became president. Now look at him. He looks like 50 years older. He's like stressed out. Because let me tell you, when you have to be, have to be, you don't want to be. I really think, there's a 2-year term, 8 years to be president, because if you did any more, you would probably die, right? He looks so old. He's so stressed out. Why? No one was ever built to be number 1. I have a story of a guy in Goldman Sachs, the best bank in the world considered, right? Investment banking. This guy at 27 became a partner at Goldman Sachs. And at 30, he left Goldman Sachs and started a hedge fund with $2 billion. Guess how much money he had after 3 years, that hedge fund? He took $2 billion, and in 2 years, it turned to $10 billion. They called him the wizard on Wall Street. Harvard graduate, real smart guy. I know a guy that works with him, and he tells me, dude, Pastor Sam, I'm telling you, this guy is the weirdest guy I ever met in my life. I'm like, why? He eats Caesar salad every day. I'm like, nah, come on. Every day, he's like, he doesn't even talk to me. He doesn't talk to anyone. He walks in He looks like he's 50, even though he's like, 35. And he eats his Caesar salad and does not take his eyes off the screen. He does not go home. He lives there. And I'm like, really? He says, yeah. He goes, I would never want to be a hedge fund manager. I mean, hedge fund manager is what every banker dreams of, Oh, wow, he's so rich. It's what all, girls want to marry. Hedge fund manager, so much so rich, so cool. They look ridiculously. I mean, did you look at Lloyd once? I mean, this guy's short, bald, and he's stressed out all the time. Anybody with decision-making capacity that has the pressure of the world on him, physically they start crumbling. Let me tell you this, before I conclude today, where Jesus is in this journey. I have a friend. He's one of the most successful people I know. He worked at Goldman Sachs, went to Ivy's, got Wharton MBA, and then now he works at Beijing, at one of the biggest funds in China, Beijing. That's where the capital of the world is now, right? And this is one time, when he couldn't find a job after he got an MBA program, we got pretty close. And one of the things he told me was this. He goes, Sam, one of the things I've learned in this world of people that are billionaires and that are successful, one of the things that you have to learn, and I want everyone to learn this today, you have to know your limitations. He goes, I'll tell you. He goes, dude, yeah, I went to, Dartmouth, I went to Wharton, I worked at Goldman Sachs. I mean, those stats are ridiculous, right? You would envy those stats. And he goes, but you know what? I can't be the superstar hedge fund guy. I'm not built for that. And I was listening to him. I was like, I think you're humbler than I am. He's like telling me, I can't be a superstar. I'm not like a, upfront guy, I don't like all the tension. And I just want to be able to handle the pressure of like having billions of dollars of other people's money and me losing it. I wouldn't be able to sleep, And he's like, but me, I can be a great number 2 guy. I'm the best number 2 guy. And I was like, and this is a weird conversation from a guy that's really successful, really, and he goes, I'm a guy that's happy with making millions of dollars. I don't need to make billions. That's just too much stress. And I'm like, this guy is smart, right? He's not chasing after the rainbow. He goes, you have to know your place. He goes, when you go to that arena of the best, you have to understand the cost of what it means to be more successful than you can handle. I was like, I'm going to take that lesson. I'm going to learn it. I'm still learning it today. And he said, yeah, I can be a great number 2 guy. I'm a great researcher, man. I am good at it. I can make millions, he can make billions. As long as he makes billions, but I make millions, I'm happy. My family's happy. And he was smiling, He even have a job. Not yet, anyway. He got one, eventually. And here it is. Before you leave today, this issue, right, of heroism. This elusive illusion of being the hero of one's journey. Where is Jesus in that? How does the gospel deal with that desire within us, especially in New York City? Well, understand this lesson that God's teaching Moses. Second, what? He's what? He's patiently waiting for us to what? We're meant to be Robin and not... I mean, I would love to be Batman. I would. Right? I mean, how many people saw Dark Knight? Remember, when Dent and his fiance, they go to the restaurant. Remember that scene? And then he's been waiting like 3 months for a reservation, and they're waiting. He's like, "Hi, how you doing?" He has the Rockettes with him, and he goes, "Oh, let's put the table together." And Dent says, "I don't think you can do that." And he goes, his favorite line of the whole movie. He goes, "Oh, it should be all right. I own the place." I want to be that. If I could, I would want to be that. But it's an elusive illusion that's cool. Let me just tell you right now, I'm sorry if you're struggling with this, that you want to be the man or the woman. You're not meant to be. If you were meant, you could be maybe like, I don't know, a Taco Bell, be the manager and do okay. Because, you got better degrees or blah, blah, you can do better than anyone else. But if you want to talk about running your life, if you want to talk about running your purpose, if you want to talk about running and training to become the best of who you are and to fulfill your purpose that God has for you, you can't be number one. There's someone smarter than you. Someone that's the master of the universe. That's God. That's the gospel. Simple as that. Number two, like my friend says, you make millions. It's plenty of money. You know what I mean, right? Not literally, but seriously, number two is better than number one in this life when number one is much smarter than you. Okay? You got to be Pippin to Jordan. You got to be Robin to Batman. That's where the joy is. That's what the gospel does. And today, I want us to submit our lives to God again. Okay, and if you're not a Christ follower, okay, you're not a Christian. Think about this. You heard all that. You heard Jay-Z's rap. You want to go out there. You conquered. You want to do all that. Let me just save you trouble, okay? You can't be number one. If you want to be number one, you're going to have to pay a heavy cost of sacrificing your life and what you're meant to be. So today, he's waiting to say, God, okay, I want to go with your plan. I want to go with your purpose. Be smart about it. Do you want that? Consider that today. Let's stand and pray together.